Good Thursday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. It was a blustery day out there. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I want to start off by telling you about something new that we are doing here. This is called First Alert Weather. Now, King 5 has had the First Alert Weather brand for a long time, but what we've decided is going into a third La Nina winter. It's going to be an active one out there. So whenever we have events that could potentially impact people or property in an adverse kind of way, we're going to hoist the First Alert Weather warning. So today was definitely a day to do that. We saw those gusts get up to about 50 miles an hour. Now, of course, that advisory has already expired for the day. It's going to be breezy overnight tonight, but not as gusty as it was, but we most certainly did see some power outages and some tree damage today, and we're just getting started. It looks like we've got a couple more systems moving through this weekend. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. In fact, let's just move right on forward here. As we take a look at what we did today, it was most definitely gusty out there. Look at this. 50-mile-an-hour plus winds, pretty much where you would expect them to be, up towards some of our northern counties there. Camino Island getting up to 53 miles an hour. Whidbey not far behind. Port Townsend, Destruction Island, and even West Point with some 40-mile-an-hour gusts that pretty much peaked right around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So here's what to expect overnight tonight. Less gusty, but still windy overnight. We'll take a look at that wind profile here in a moment. Now, what to expect for Friday morning? We've got some rain moving through, but it looks like it's going to move through very early and very quickly, and that's going to set us up with a pretty decent day on Friday and for the most part on Saturday as well. Some of our northern counties will see some rain, and it looks like the coast will be a bit soggy as well. The next major system moves through on Sunday, which could have some implications for the Seahawks game. We'll talk about that in a moment too. So as we go overnight tonight, we will continue to see that wind coming through from the south, and what you're noticing is even by midnight tonight, it's still not going anywhere. We'll see some gusts that'll be in the mid-20s and even some lower 30s up towards Snohomish County. Seattle looks like it'll be gusty in the mid-20s there through midnight tonight, and then finally by Friday morning we get to the kind of that later hours. This is right around 9:30. We'll start to see some single digits up towards the north, but still seeing some gusts getting up close to 20 miles an hour in Tacoma. It's not until we get into the evening hours that we'll finally see things getting back down into the single digits. So here's what's happening in the big picture. The Pacific Northwest is obviously right in the middle of that moisture plume. It's not a particularly well organized one, and what I'm really enjoying about it is it does send some much needed moisture and a frontal boundary, not only through Oregon, but it looks like northern and possibly central California will pick up on some of that as well, and they can most definitely use the rain. Speaking of rain, we're going to see that overnight tonight, especially up towards the northern counties there. So Snohomish for a certain portion there, Whatcom, Skagit, you're going to see some steady showers, and it looks like they're going to last through about midnight tonight. We start to see some of that heavier rain move in along the coast around midnight as well. So here's what it gets interesting. This is the morning commute on Friday, right around 7 a.m. You'll see steady rain. Doesn't look like it'll be particularly heavy. And geez, by the time we get to 9, 10 o'clock, most of that well off towards the south there, picking up some snow up towards Crystal and White Pass. It looks like snow levels will be riding right between about 6,000 feet. Fast forward to Friday afternoon around 2 p.m. and look at that sunshine out there. We'll get a nice sun break. Won't be particularly warm, but it'll be nice to get some vitamin D in there. In fact, by the time we get to 7 o'clock, the sun will have set, and it looks like we may actually get a good sunset out of the deal. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. Now, for the most part, Saturday should be fine, especially in the morning hours. We'll start to see some showers that'll fire up basically up towards Whatcom County. It looks like Baker will get a little bit more snow, and then off towards the Olympic Peninsula, especially over top of the Olympics themselves there, we'll see some showers that'll linger throughout the day. This is Sunday morning around 11, and this is as far as this forecast model goes. So up towards the north, once again, Snohomish, Skagit, Whatcom, you're going to be active. Those yellows indicate some moderately heavy rain. Off towards the coast, we'll see some moderate and periodically heavy rain. Now, here's the implication, is the Seahawks game is at 1:25 on Sunday afternoon, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it, but it looks like it could be a bit on the soggy side and the breezy side as well. As that gets closer, we'll fine-tune that forecast for you. Take a look at this. So snow levels riding around 5,000 feet on Friday. They dip to 4,500 on Saturday. They bounce up to 6,500 on Sunday, which is not cool because it looks like we will get some rain on snow. That's actually good news in a way. It actually helps to settle that snowpack a little bit, create a good foundation for whatever comes next. And speaking of what comes next, we've got a system moving through on Wednesday and snow levels dipping down to about 2,500 and possibly as low as 2,000 feet by the time we get to Thursday, and you're seeing up above there Snoqualmie Pass at 3,022 feet, so we could be looking at the first pass impacts of the year We'll fine-tune that as it gets a little bit closer early next week. Bundle up. Overnight lows will be in the upper 30s in places like Olympia, some lower 40s, Puyallup and Shelton and Chehalis. Out towards the coast, a little balmier, 45. We'll get 45 in Oak Harbor as well, and 46 in Bellingham. Add about 10 degrees to that, and those will be your highs on Friday. We'll get 55 in Bellingham, some mid-50s out towards the coast, and we'll try and take a run at 60 down towards the South Sound. Looks like Olympia gets to 58, and the state capital will be 57. 7-day forecast shows temperatures riding in the mid-50s on Friday in Seattle. We'll warm it up slightly on Saturday and then pull it back down on Sunday as that frontal boundary moves through. As far as Halloween goes, I'm tracking some rain during the first half of the day, but I am expecting it to taper as we go towards the evening, so it should be looking good for trick-or-treaters. And then we're going to point our eyes forward to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and see if we get some snow back in the passes. So there you have it. Looks like it's going to be, again, breezy overnight tonight. It's not until the early morning hours of Friday that we'll start to see that wind settle down, and then that rain moves through. But again, very politely, it's going to be out of here by the time we get to about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So sets us up for a decent afternoon on Friday. Looks like Saturday's going to be good, and then it could be a soggy game on Sunday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. Stay safe and keep looking up.